Hi, in today's video, we're going to be discussing how terrible and difficult it is and how to cope when someone has gone no contact. I'm Marie Morin. I'm a therapist and a wellness coach. Let's get started. So the first thing I want you to know is that estrangement is incredibly complicated. There's no one size fits all. There's no one way to explain it. I hear from a lot of people, adult children, siblings, parents, and here's what I get. Such different stories. Parents that insist that they have not abused their adult child and their kid has gone no contact. They won't talk to them and they're heartbroken. And then I talk to adult children and they tell me that they've had such strained relationships. They felt so uncomfortable and so much stuff went on that it's really hard for them to stay in relationship. And as a therapist and a wellness coach, it's not up to me to push my agenda on anyone. In fact, that is not ethical. It is terribly inappropriate for a professional in any format to encourage someone to make those life decisions. I will tell you, though, that it is a terrible experience for all parties when the family breaks down. We know that people are meant to be part of a family that are loving, where they feel safe and they have a relationship that all parties feel comfortable enough in, that they know that they can be with them, that they are trusted. So it's a very complicated topic. And I want to say first off that if you're watching this video, thank you for watching, but I'm truly sorry from the bottom of my heart that you were going through this, no matter where you are on the side of this equation, whether you're a parent, an adult child, or a sibling. I'm sorry that things are going this way with your family. So in this informational, not giving advice video, let's move forward. So it's such a difficult journey, okay? So when we've been estranged from our adult child, it can lead to deep emotional pain, including feelings of depression, anxiety, guilt, anger, shame, shock. It's crucial to recognize that both parents and adult children suffer when communication breaks down. The second thing we should talk about is that there's so many different reasons for estrangement. And you watch my video, 11 Reasons Why, but they rarely cut contact for a single reason. Adult children tell me, and they say in the research, that there's been tensions, there's been problems, there's been perceived toxicity in the relationship. And understanding these dynamics is essential to finding a path forward. So what is that about? So part of it is when I work with families, one of the things that adult children are looking for is validation. So while they might use terms like you've been toxic, if you're not listening to what they're saying, that their perception is that you're toxic and there's been things that have happened that have been really upsetting to them, and you invalidate how they feel. And I'm not accusing anyone of anything because I don't really know what your situation is. Often I'm talking in generalities because there's so many different variables. If they've been coming to you and they're trying to tell you, or they have tried to tell you, hey, I think you've been toxic, but you're focused on the fact that they've said toxic and you're like, no, I haven't been toxic, no communication is going to happen. Why? Because the willingness to hear your adult child, even if you think they're off the mark, begins with you validating them. Okay? Does that make sense? It begins with you saying something like, I hear what you're saying. I can see why you might think that. I understand you. And it might hurt. And maybe there are cases where someone has been so falsely accused, and there are, because there's parental alienation. And when parental alienation occurs, and I know this is another controversial topic, and I seem to be the queen of controversy here, but the controversy about it is that sometimes the person that's being accused of being toxic to the child is not that at all. So there's so many variables, as I said, but what we really need to remember is that honestly, when people are divorcing, there is so much opportunity for parents to say things to their children that are inappropriate. For example, for manipulating and controlling to get the other parent to look bad. We don't know what is true. It could be, and this has happened too, that parents that are accused of being abusive truly are abusive. And then that whole syndrome that we're talking about, because it's called parental alienation syndrome, is an untrustworthy thing, because it could be used and said, oh, this person is accusing me falsely, when in fact there has been harm done. So in essence, the complicated nature of parental alienation is that the children suffer. So I'm reading from my monitor here. I want to tell you what happens to adults who have been alienated. What does that mean? When a child has been told by their parent that the other parent is no good and they've been manipulated, well, they internalize low self-esteem. They have self-hatred, self-blame, guilt. They suffer from depression, likelihood of substance use. They have self-doubt. They have trust issues. They have high divorce rates. They have a lot of anger and resentment. And they have strained relationships, of course, with the alienating parent. And they are alienated by their own children. So what we want to understand about being given the no contact, whether there's been parental alienation or not, is that it is an incredibly painful thing for both the adult child and the parent. And then, of course, there's the siblings that can get caught in the middle of this, that want to be in relationship with one or the other and maybe are triangulating. So a very, very messy topic. So, by the way, one of the best books is Family Estrangement, A Matter of Perspective, and it gives the adult child's perspective and it gives the parent's perspective. And if you need to take a deeper dive, it's a really good idea. The third thing you want to do is develop coping strategies. So I always tell everybody you got to do daily self-care. Start with the basics, making sure you're eating right, but you want to learn how to reduce stress. And one of those is, like, if you want to pray, journal, meditate, definitely do some kind of movement. Also learning communication techniques. Hey, it's not easy to validate somebody where there's been a lot of tension, but you want to be able to learn these skills that can help bridge the gap and facilitate healthier interactions. Another thing that is extremely helpful when there's been an estrangement and there's been no contact is to be around people who love and value you, who get you, who want to be with you, who want to be there as companions, someone you could trust that is just going to be comforting for you. Number 4 is to develop emotional resilience. So how do you do that? Well, we have to start thinking we're not going to go down with the ship. No matter what end of the estrangement you're on, that you felt you needed to leave the relationship. And by the way, there are plenty of parents who feel that way. Or you're the adult child that's had to step back for a while and take a pause because things have been stressful. You want to make sure that you're building your resilience muscle. What is that about? Every day you take one step at a time. You say, I'm just going to deal with the relationship status for today. I'm going to get through this. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to take care of my mental health. I'm going to take care of my physical health. I'm going to choose to love on myself and be compassionate with myself. The 5th thing to do is to have resources and support. So, as I said, the Kylie Agalias' book on my website, moreonholistictherapy.com, I have a ton of resources. The other thing to do is seek professional help. There are plenty of therapists out there that can be supportive and help you. Or you can contact me. I'm an estrangement coach. I help people deal with some of the most intense situations and get through, reclaiming their emotional health, their physical health, helping them with the communication skills, helping them to stay connected, doing the repair work, and to find sources within them so that they can live. Remember, estrangement is a deeply personal experience with no easy solutions and no easy explanation, but prioritizing your emotional health, learning effective communication skills, and staying socially connected, and getting support, reading, informing yourself. It can begin to bring you to a place of fulfillment in your life again. We can't go down with the ship. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope this information has been a help to you. Don't forget to leave me a comment. Remember, you're not alone.